Hello everybody, it's me, Mr. Chan. If you're watching this video, it means that I'm dead. Dead tired from flying all the way to Japan. But seriously, I'm not here. I'm long gone. I'm on the other side of the world. But I've left you in very capable hands. And I've recorded some of my lessons onto video so you can watch them in class. Now, I am expecting you, every one of you, to be on your best behavior. I'm going to be back in 2 weeks. So, until then, let's get some work done. Especially you. Alrighty, so today we are taking a look at how to find a percent of a number. So here we're asked to find 30% of 80. So one way you can look at it is think of it as a proportion. Okay? Remember that 35% means 35 out of 100, right? That's 35%. But rather than being it out of 100, we want to know what would it be if it was out of 80 instead. And so this is just a proportion that we have to solve. And we already learned before how to solve proportions. The question mark here is the quantity that we're trying to find. It's being divided by 80. So what we would do is we would multiply both sides by 80. So we're going to end up with 80 being multiplied onto the left side. So now we have 80 times 35 over 100. And that's going to be equal to, well, if I multiply the right side by 80, the 80s will cancel out because I have a divide by 80 and a multiply by 80. So I'm left with just the value that I'm looking for. So if I go ahead and calculate this, 35 divided by 100 is just 0.35. And then that gets multiplied by 80. And so I end up with 28. So that's one way you can do it. But you'll notice that while I'm doing this, I'm just taking the 35%, I'm writing it out as a fraction, then I have to divide it and it turns into decimal form. I can actually take advantage of that. So a faster way of working this out without using proportion is this. First, start with just a statement. You're trying to find 35% of 80. And so of in mathematics usually implies multiplication. Like I want 8 of those things. I want half of that. Usually means multiplication. So let's rewrite this as 35% times 80. Now 35%, we learned from previous class that we can write this as a fraction or in decimal form. And so if we write this out in decimal form, this is 0.35. Still multiplying and still 80. So 0.35 times 80. And that's exactly what we had over here. So all I'm doing here is I'm just rewriting this. I'm writing out the statement, I want 35% of 80, turning the of into multiplication, turning the percent into a decimal, and bam. I just calculate this now. So I punch this into my calculator, and this works out to 28. And there's my answer. To summarize, to find a percentage of a number, write the percent in decimal form and then multiply. Okay, so it all boils down to just knowing that of means multiply and a percent can be written in decimal form. So let's take a look at a couple examples here. So first example, let's find a 110% of 58. As we did before, we need to treat the of as multiplication. We would write the percentage in decimal form. So we're just dividing by 100. That leaves me with a 1.1. And this is still 58. So if you then went out and you multiplied 1.1, multiplied by 58, you would get 63.8. Okay? So 110% of 58 is 63.8. Okay, let's try one more. We have 12.5% of, let's say, 60. So again, the of means multiplication. Okay, this 60 is not going to change. This 12.5%, even though it has a decimal point in there, don't be fooled. This is not decimal form, right? When they say decimal form, they want you to drop that percent, which means if it's going to be out of 100, we want you to go ahead and divide by 100. So I still need to divide by 100 to turn this into decimal form. Dividing by 100 turns this into 0.125, right? Divided by 100, I just move the decimal point 2 spots to the left. And so I have 0.125 times 60. If I go ahead and calculate this, this works out to 7.5. 12.5% of 60 is 7.5. Let's take a look at a word problem now. Let's scroll up here. We have a $15 t-shirt on sale for 15% off. We want to find how much money we save and what is the final sale price, meaning after the discount's been taken off. Let's find out how much money we save. Well, we're saving 15%. Essentially, we're being asked to find 15% of $15. And, well, of means multiply. 15% is just 0.15, and we're multiplying by $15. And this works out to be 2.25 or $2.25. That's the answer to the first question. We save $2.25. Now, what is the final sale price? So if that's how much money we're saving, well, then we can take that off of our price. Let's take our $15 and now let's subtract the discount, which was $2.25. And that works out to $12.75. The final sale price is $12.75. So we have an SLL camera whose regular price is $480. We want to know what is the sale price if the camera has a 30% discount. Now here's the thing, it doesn't ask us how much money we save, right? They just want to know what is the new sale price. If we were to have a 30% discount, that means we're going to take 30% off, okay? If we're removing 30%, that means we get to hang on to 70%. So let's write that down first. 30% off means we have 70% left over to pay. Okay? 30% of this price is going to be tossed away. 70%, the remaining 70% is what we have to pay. Rather than calculating what 30% is and then taking it away from the price, let's just figure out what 70% is, and that's just going to be our sale price. we're going to do this by saying 70% of, in this case, $480. And remember, of means multiply, 70% is 0.7. So 0.7 times our 480. And that works out to $336. And that's it. No subtraction needed. Okay, we calculate what 70% was because we know that's how much is left over if you remove a 30% discount. And there we go. That's our new sale price. So let's go ahead and write that. The sale price is $336. And that's it. We're going to stop there. There are some more examples I want to get into, but we'll cover that next class. All right. See you in the next one. Bye.